We now return to Let's Play Banished. Alright, well, I think, as has already been alluded to, we're kind of at the end of this series. It's just not going to happen that we make a city. I just cannot keep this up anymore. So, what's going to happen instead... Man, we're missing a lot of people. A lot of them. Packer, what the hell does this do? Not for that. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna build a few more homes so that we can get a few more kids. Possibly causing a problem, actually, with the food. You know what? Given the age of some of these, we're not gonna do that. What we're gonna do instead, now that that is all built, this has got to be built next. We're missing out on stone. Continue this going. We're missing out on some stone, but once we get that stone collection done, that will be taken care of. There. That is the least possible intuitive thing to do to get rid of the flattening. I mean, that makes absolutely no fucking sense. What do you got? Full livery. Okay. Clothing. Only 8. Well, we don't need it. So this is a problem. We're not making any more tools. I just don't know how... Until we start getting these kids out of school, we will have no extras. So that's just not going to be a thing. We need the stone. Stone that was being done up here. I'm going to cancel removal of pretty much everything, and we're just going to go straight up stone because we need that in order to build these. So anyway, what we're going to do next is just get the Colonial Hall, the courthouse done, the square, and possibly build the governor's mansion over here, and then I'm going to call it a series, because this really is not doing, well, much of anything, to be honest. I don't know, more people, just a few more people? Fine. I just need the workforce in here. And maybe I can beautify these as well. I'm going to turn that off, though, because as soon as this frickin' house gets built, we won't need it anymore. So for right now, let's put in a few of these hedges. Hedges with floral hedges. No. 2 wide, 4 wide. That would work, and then it would leave a little gap in between there. What is this, just 6 wide? So I could put that and then a 3, right? 1 half wide. No, it looks like they come in their own little planters, so that's bizarre. Oh, wait a minute. What is this? Tight hedge. So I could make the whole thing. Oh, whatever. We'll just plunk, kerplunk. And those will get built next as well. 7 people needed. All of our builders are dying. Well, that's no good. That's really no good. We need 1 less of those and 1 more in there. Hunters, I mean, we really need as many food people as possible. I suppose I could just turn off all the building shit, because at this point, we really... Oh, why do I keep hitting that damn thing? At this point, we could really just turn most of this off, seeing as how it's going nowhere. For instance, we have now just completely stopped that. We need tools. We don't need a tool builder, really. Not really. And building supplies, I mean, God, it's taken so long. That is actually the thing that is taken the most, is building supplies, right? Most time. In fact, I appear to be out of it. So we probably should have someone in there. Okay, we do have a few more. Those kids are finally coming out and being part of the whole thing. This is almost done. And there we go. Wow. Well, let's get that going, and then we'll build a courthouse, or... See, I don't know if I've got 8 building supplies. don't think I do. So it'll have to be the courthouse. I don't even know that I've got 3. So even that might be a thing that we don't have. Okay, well, in that case, we'll come in here, and we're going to start putting down the various things to, boy, that required an awful lot of stone, didn't it? Stone, I once again don't appear to have. Can we please, let's go back and prioritize this. I guess because I don't really have extra people for gathering purposes. We are dipping considerably with the die-offs. That's not helpful. And the die-offs apparently are not helping. I mean, look at this. My age demographics have been keeping this back, but I haven't wanted to explode the population because then that makes the food situation worse. So this is really just not going anywhere. This is really not helpful whatsoever. And it's going to become the next big crisis. Anyway, so while that's done, now we can finally just work on this town square that is serving me pretty much no purpose. Bronze statue. Is that the big one? Let's see what other big ones we've got here. Out of logs, of course we are. There we go. Statue depicting the colony's governor astride a llama. So, where would that center? Would that center at all? No, because this is an even... Maybe it's not even. Right there. So what's that going to take? 1 stone statue. We actually have to create the statue to make the statues. See, this is really my my grievance with this game, is that you can build a home with just wood and stone. The fact that you can't just use stone to create a statue, especially a stone statue, really rankles me, actually. So that's not going to happen then, apparently. And then, what was this requiring over here? We finally got the damn hedges up. That's not really going to do what I wanted it to do, especially since that was going to be a stone path. Right, you know what? That house is being built. Let's work on this next. So chances are highly probable that this is just not going to happen. What is that? Hedge corner. Okay. And then we need a hedge cap. Although I suppose I could bring the hedge cap in. One like that, and then we get the hedge piece in the middle. That is a rather large hedge, I will admit. Alright. We just need more. Do we need more, or are they just not, they're just not getting it? Because we have no one to go gathering, and we've got 14 people hanging around trying to build something. This has no access to firewood? There we go. Whatever. This is just not gonna happen at all, I think. This might end up actually being the final episode, even though I had not quite planned for the end of it yet. But I think it's really only a matter of time at this point. Just do something like that. And we'll see what we can do here. Now, that's really, I mean, half hedges would have been better. I think I would have enjoyed half hedges a little bit more. Because what am I going to do? Cobblestone pathway. Stone road. Moss road. A brick road. Now that requires bricks. So that's not going to happen. We can do a moss thing, I suppose. We'll just go straight up. So let's see. The statue's going to be there. So we may as well put kind of a square around it like that. Go it up there. Go down here. Kind of have to pull it like that. So whatever. It'll go something like that. What else do we have? We should have a flag, correct? Maybe I should have put that. I guess I could put one on each side, maybe. That's a little bit ostentatious to require that many. What else do we have? Some kind of Liberty Bell? Liberty Bell on one side and the... yeah. I bet they, shoot, now my thing flipped. I don't know which one I want for this. I kind of like that. The black iron cross, though. Iron statue. Yep, another one. Not going to happen. Okay, what about the flag? The flag just requires wood, so that's not going to happen. That's not going to develop. Flower beds, I suppose. Fully customizable flower beds. Can we just get one? One little daub? Plants. Criminy. We'll get one there. What about different types? Whatever. Any other kinds of... I guess we could have done fences, there are road signs, town decorations. Ah, benches, there we go. Wooden benches. Ooh, hey. Lampposts. Did that totally just change the type of lamppost on me there? And it requires lamp oil and oh my god. See, this is really the problem here, is that it's getting a little bit too literal for very small things. Again, using the excuse of the house, or the example of the house, all you need is log and stone, and this happens. You don't need any of the fancy shit for everything else. And I think because of that, you know, if the game had really, if the mod makers had really wanted to go into the minutia and the specifics of being more literal in how to build a home or build a structure or whatever, then it really should have gotten rid of these. Now, I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if you could get rid of the base structures via the mod, but this is ridiculous. You know, this is a bit more abstract, where it only requires a few resources to get something done, and I mean, that much stone for just that little planter is ridiculous. Those, I feel, are out of line for what they are. But building these homes versus building these homes, the supply chain is just ridiculous. Building supplies. So that requires one building, which itself requires 2 more buildings. The lumber building can do logs, fine. The brick, is that this? The brick building itself requires 2 more. And the fuel furnace requires firewood, which is another. So, just to get building supplies, that's 6 structures. When really, I think, in the abstract sense, all you need to build one of these should be bricks and lumber, which is 3 structures. Lumber mill or woodcutter, a clay pit, which makes sense, and then a brick maker. And then you're done. Half the resources, and you could do this. The homewares thing, completely unnecessary. It makes absolutely no sense. As if these are just like, what, crude little huts with nothing in them? You need specifically the homeware. See, now, that would make sense not as an initial requirement, but as an upgrade. So you look at this, and to upgrade from this to this requires 3 new resources. At most, it should require lumber. I mean, lumber and brick makes sense for the type of style of this. You know, this is clearly not a stone or a wood thing. This requires brick and lumber, so that's fine. A little bit higher class. But, like, this should require either, like, a brick, and then... or the stone, and then, like, the brick, and maybe houseware or whatever if you want to go that route. not all of this at once, because the way the mod plays out in that sense, this is completely useless. You may as well just be making this your basic Banished game, your vanilla Banished game, and then just ignore everything else. Because you would essentially, in order to even use this stuff, you would have to make your medieval town using vanilla, and then basically tear it down and replace the city stuff. I don't feel that the mod should have been oriented that way. It should have been more as a, give me some options so that I can do the medieval town, the colonial town, the American colonial town, whatever, but it should not have been so difficult just to get to this, especially since this doesn't really supply anything that these don't. You know, I mean, these provide you small amounts of people, and I mean, for the time and resources, you could upgrade this fully. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it feels like this is the Colonial mod itself is a mashup of other mods. I mean, I've seen the land terraforming as a separate mod, so I don't know. I've been disappointed by this because I thought this would be really cool. You come in, build all these fancy new structures, which really are just visually slightly different, and that's exactly how they should have been. They shouldn't have been anything different. I think this I don't believe, to build the central market actually required anything that the regular market didn't already have. Central market, and I believe the, what is it, Old Town Market? This is like, no, what's the rural market? Yeah. Same resource types, just visually different. Slightly different amounts required, but nonetheless gets you the same thing. That should have been every building in the mod. Having to build this should have been optional, not necessary just to get frickin' homes. And, I mean, statues. The supply chain just to get a damn statue. I don't see why you couldn't just have it knock out the whole statue maker thing. Why even bother with that? You know, I mean, just have it so that you need a new ore, fine. Make a thing with the mine or the, you know, whatever the suppliers actually are. And then fine, so you need, you know, copper or whatever to make, in this case it's iron. You should just need iron and stone, and then you build the damn statue. It should be simplified. See, the minutia and realism, I think, is more effective in a supply chain type game. That's more suitable for something like Factorio or a transport tycoon game. For a city builder, this is highly obnoxious. You shouldn't have to go more than 2 steps down a chain to get it done. In my opinion, anyway. I mean, all of the other city builders that I've played have effectively been like that. Holy shit, we need 50 builders. They don't go that far. They don't require that much. You can basically get your vision done within the first hour of playing, or at least get a good start on it. Not with this. Not with the way this is set up. And, like I said, that bothers me. It has been less enjoyable because of that. Because I haven't been able to just build a town. I've essentially had to build a supply network. Which, really, the base Banished does not do. You know, it's just so... I don't know. I guess my main problem is that Banished itself did not have enough content, and the mods add just overcomplication and too much. It should have just been a happy balance where you add a few new buildings that require a few new buildings in their chain, but not anything that is excessive. Like I said, this only requires brick and lumber, so all you really need for new buildings is a brick maker, and I suppose a clay maker, or a clay gatherer, whatever. But, you know, I feel like that whole thing could have been simplified and just less of a hassle to get down to having a fun little colonial town, as opposed to having to build this shit, which, you know, even to upgrade it to look better than just your base stuff, I'm either going stone house or this, and that looks exactly like vanilla Banished. So why, you know, what's the difference? What's the point in any of that? I don't know. I don't get it myself. Our tools are down because we never supplied this guy. So we finally did kill off our tools there. Fine, whatever. Not that that's ever... I mean, whatever. Holy shit, though. The population die-off has made the amount of stored food go through the roof. So I guess, you know, if we ever got around to actually finally building this back up again, I could resupply this and we could go through another big push. I just don't think I'm going to do that. I'm done. I'm done. This just... To build freaking hedges, are you kidding me? That it's that freaking difficult, that it's that resource intensive, just to make a small, insignificant, inconsequential decoration? That's not how that should be. I mean, of any city building game, the decorations are the least resource intensive. They are just something you can plunk down 1,000 times, and they don't take that much. I don't know. I do not think this is how the mod should have gone. It's just way overly complicated for something that should have been a lot more fun. But whatever. I think we've tortured ourselves enough with this, and I don't see a reason to try again with Banished. Just do like the vanilla thing with some of these, especially since you can't just have the decorations. You've got to actually have the new buildings. I mean, the lamp oil production. What monstrosity of production is that? Just to get that stuff. Whatever. So, yeah, not quite how I wanted the series to go, not how I had thought it was going to go. I just thought this was mostly a content mod. It is not really. It is an attempt at an overhaul of how the game plays while still leaving the base in there. I don't know, maybe it would have been different if, as I said, they had gotten rid of all the base content and just basically rewrote how it goes down. I mean, how you need to start. Because that would make more sense to me, because then you'd have to take your time to build up your chains, to get your basics done, whatever. But by leaving the base game mechanics in place with the mod, you are essentially chasing population and food, and then you've got a situation like now where we just cannot fill in anybody else. I mean, I would have to essentially build the whole damn town in just vanilla Banished to get the infrastructure and population to build some of these colonial things. I mean, that's just... That ruins the whole point of the mod, in my mind, but whatever. So, holy shit. Major die-off this summer. And I think on that note, we'll probably just go ahead and kill the series. So, I'm going to end this one here. Thanks for watching, however frustrating that was for all of us. If you enjoyed, that's good, because I'm not sure I did. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next Let's Play.